Good evening. Greetings from the Institute of Global Professionals IGP. Greetings from the Institute of Global Professionals IGP. Thank you all for joining us and staying with us till the end. Honorable Knowledge Seekers, today I am your host for the evening. My name is Premalta. I am from Bangladesh. Dear Knowledge Seekers, I am proud to be associated with IGP. IGP is a social and ISO certified international educational and training institute. In the last 3 years, we have already served 35 million plus knowledge seekers from 100 plus countries. IGP is internationally recognized and globally accredited. We are connected to more than 450 plus professions and 4,500 plus organizations. Institute of Global Professionals IGP and ISO 9001 2050 and 1002 2080 is a training facility for skill development which was founded in 2020 and is generating competent candidates to meet demand in the global labor market by providing professional qualification. The Institute of Global Professionals is an educational institute that provides social work globally recognized and reputable. We serve students and community researchers providing holistic social work and education. We believe that it's not effective to increase one's skills just by acquiring formal education. So we provide effective training and consultation to generate proficient generation all over the world. We distribute our services locally, nationally, and internationally to students, job seekers, job holders, and also for learners through respective campus location and distance learning platform. We are an occupational and dependable institution. IGP is one of the famous online institutes from all over the world. Our vision is education is not a business product. It's a part of our human right. Based on our vision, we are trying to reach all corners of the world for free webinars, seminars, courses, awards, quiz competition, monitoring, and counseling, etc. On the other side, we are also trying to offer more than 100 premium services for free, like creating our portfolio website, resume builder, cover letter, motivation letter, and one knowledge platform for gathering general knowledge, which can update all day kites, learning, game website, free courses, converter sites, and many more. We help to empower you to learn to meet their expectation and dreams and become highly skilled people. We implement our training programs, webinars, and offline online courses for youth and learners by professional trainers, speakers, and coaches. Our sessions are conducted by globally renowned professionals to develop all kinds of youth and to promote the education of their abilities and personalities. Spreading knowledge is crucial for the Institute of Global Professionals. We believe that knowledge is love and latent vision. So we try to understand needs of today's generation and will serve them with good research and practice method. We must have a genuine concern for the learners. We represent more diversity, growth, and innovation are required. To lead a session with professionalism, passion, and integrity. IEP members are committed to offering effective best quality service and continual improvement so that individuals who seek information can improve their skill level and well. Before I move to the next, let me remind don't forget to share, tag, and mention your friend in the comment box. Your support is very valuable to us. Thank you. Before I move to the next, let me remind don't forget to share, tag, and mention your friend in the comment box. Your support is very valuable to us. Thank you. Moving to the next, with your continuous support, they have already completed 1,476 webinars successfully. Wow. Moving to the next, with your continuous support, they have already completed 1,476 webinars successfully. Wow. Dear IGP speakers, participants, and well-wishers, at this moment, this is a very important message for you all. We changed and designed our website, www.eduigp.com. On this website, we have surprises for everyone. Hope you will be benefited. We already launched our new website where you can find all our previous activities together with lots of features. But one strong point is that without an account or login, you can't enjoy our services. So create your account for once with your profile information. Note that with your profile information, you will enjoy all features. With mismatched data, you can't do anything else. From now on, you have to participate in live quiz competitions on our website. We replace Slido. You have to join directly on our website. Now you can check all of our previous webinars, 1,420 plus, with diabetes certificates. Now it's easier and time online. Because after this session, we will not provide you with any code for certification. You have to take part in one exam after that. If you pass, you will receive a certificate, otherwise not. But you can take part in one exam unlimited till you pass. If you are an IGP speaker, you can download all your previous certificates, speakership certificate. If you are a host of IGP, you can download a certificate of graduate. If you are an online quiz competition winner, you can download a certificate of participation. If you are selected for lifetime membership, then you can download a certificate of lifetime membership easily. Besides this, if you participate in any award function which organized combat supported IUP, you can download that also. You can instantly prepare and download 80 types of instant certificates from our website within a minute. Certificate of Global Professional Membership, Certificate of Global Influencer during the pandemic, Certificate of Active Knowledge Seeker, Certificate of Social Activities during the pandemic, Certificate of Active and IGP Knowledge Seeking from 2020, Certificate of Active and IGP Knowledge Seeking from 2021, Certificate of Active and IGP Knowledge Seeking from 2022, Certificate of Participation Webinar Series 1, Authentic Assessment in Teaching Learning, Certificate of Participation Webinar Series 2, Teaching English as a Foreign Language and Assessment. Certificate of Participation Webinar Series 3, Digital Classroom Engagement Tool, Certificate of Participation Webinar Series 4, The New Trends in Education, Certificate of Participation Webinar Series 5, Upskilling Organizational Leadership and Managerial Skills, Certificate of Participation Webinar Series 6, Trends and Innovation in Mathematics Education, Certificate of Participation Webinar Series 7, Research Comprehensive Approach, Certificate of Participation Webinar Series 8, Art in Teaching, Special Program in the Arts, Certificate of Participation Webinar Series 9, 21st Century Tools in Teaching Mathematics, Certificate of IGP Corporate Ambassador, Certificate of IGP Campus Ambassador, which you can prepare and download within a minute. From now on, you can participate in 1000 plus international level quizzes with verified certificates. Teaching tips for teachers, health tips for parents, health tips for teenagers, game and tools for teachers. You can join IGP Alumni. You can check out our 50 plus premium services website for free. And whenever there are chip issues, we promised previously, but lack of technical issues, we are late sending you on time. This is a great opportunity to collect your previous credentials. We solve all issues from our website. Now you can enroll. Reset password, everything. You can check your dashboard for all webinar details. It's a cordial request to check all buttons and pages on our website. Surely, I can say you will be benefited. Thank you. But note that without an account or login, you can't enjoy our service. At present, we are going to start our 1488 webinar. The webinar program name is an author's essential guide in bibliometrics. And our today's speaker is Sir Shobik Ganguly. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, ma'am.
Okay, so some description about yourself.
Okay. Okay, I'll put it in my introduction. You can put the slides. Okay, fine. So, good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all the participants of IGP. And once again, it's an honor for me to serve IGP in this particular platform. Today's topic of a discussion is Author's Essential Guide to Bibliometrics. So basically, we will do some analysis about bibliometrics, what it is all about, why it is important for an a researcher or for an educationist to learn about bibliometrics and what is the benefit of having bibliometrics. Of course, bibliometrics will not uh, discuss about the quality of the research article, but it will have the impact or the qualitative impact on the quality of publications. And the research impact does it has some research networking, some research collaborations, all those matters. Myself, Dr. Shovik Ganguly, I'm serving as an assistant professor in the Department of Electrical and Instrumentation Engineering at Thapar Institute of Engineering and Technology in Patiala. So basically, I have served industry for almost 2.5 years, and then shifted to teaching. In the meantime, had my post graduation and PhD uh, uh, in the area of controls, and of course, we went forward to doing some quality research work, and in the process. We come across certain terms, certain nomenclatures rather, which every educationist or every educator or every researcher must know also. So basically, bibliometrics is a particular field that focuses on the quantitative analysis of scholarly work or scholarly publications that provides insights into various aspects like authorship, publication patterns means it will decide that what type of publication you have and also your research impact as well. For authors, understanding bibliometrics is equally beneficial in several ways, as it can track the impact of their own work and also finding or identifying the influential research and collaborating with other authors or other researchers as well. So basically, we are going to give you a comprehensive guide today on authors' bibliometrics profile. What are the publication metrics that needs to be addressed? What are the author profiles and identifiers that we are going to discuss today? What are the research profiles and networking? How do you proceed for networking with other researchers? Finding your influential research, that means your citation databases, your citation analysis tools, and all those things. And we will also have some discussions on the collaborative opportunities as well. And of course, research evaluation and funding. And of course, once you develop some networking, once you go in for good quality of research in a particular trust areas which your institute or your government or your private organizations are able to fund you as well. However, we talk about so many things in research, but bibliometrics can only provide some valuable insights, but it does not measure the quality of research. So it is important to consider these particular factors. That the quality we are not discussing, we are just giving a platform for a researcher to work on and check about the different citations, how the profiles should be there, how you can network, how you can secure funding, and all those things. So basically, it will be an interesting topic as we go about in the next 30-40 minutes. Of course, bibliometrics is a quantitative analysis. Just I told you about your scholarly work, about your citations to evaluate the impact and the influence of your work. So this is basically your analysis of your publications, analysis of your citations, which will evaluate or which will give you a measure of the impact and the influence that you have, that you extract out of your scholarly works. So, getting into a little bit of details. So, once again, I told you I'll repeat few things again and again, time and again. So, it is a quantitative analysis of your publications, your citations to evaluate your impact and influence of your scholarly work or research potential, whatever you call it. Application of some statistical and mathematical methods to obtain the bibliographic data, and there are several measures or several aspects by virtue of which we measure the research output and its visibility within our scientific community. So we talk about publication metrics as one of the important measures, and there you come across several items like H index, your item index, or something of that sort. So we will time and again be discussing about the research output and its measure, or how do you measure this research outputs, and how to increase your visibility of your research within your community of work or within your network. So of course, bibliometrics will provide some useful insights into the reach, into the significance, quality of publications to some extent, as well as the productivity and the influence that individual researchers or institutions can have on. There are several measures that we talk about that has come up recently. Several rankings that have universities are applying for, just to have their research visibility, just to have their research impact being felt, and how we can influence for funding opportunities, how we can go in for research collaborations with top-notch researchers in your area of research as well. So we are to examine the citation pattern. Say, for example, I am a researcher. I work in the area of control systems. I work in the area of system identification. I work in the area of nature-inspired algorithms. I work in the area of IoT, on Internet of Things as well. So when we talk about these type of things, definitely we are talking about some of my citation or publication patterns that you may get off. So some keywords regarding my publications will involve control systems, system identification, nature inspired algorithms, which can we can have Internet of Things, and likewise. So these type of keywords are basically denoting my citation or citation patterns or publication counts or something of that sort. So basically, this will have impact indirectly or directly. That it will have influence on my journal impact factors in which we are publishing. The author H index, of course, we talk about H indexes, that how many publications are there which are above that particular value. Say I have 15 publications which whose citations are greater than 15, then my H index is 15. I-10 index is sometimes also referred as an indicator to assess your research impact and visibility of your research output as well. I-10 index means those publications will be taken into account whose citations are more than 10. So that denotes I-10 index of your research visibility. So these analyses are usually performed at different levels, at including articles, individual authors, even the journals, institutions, or the entire research field as well. So there are several metrics of measure by virtue of which we can. Simplest way to understand H index and I-10 index is to go through the scholar profile. Wherever you have the scholar profile, you can go through it, and you can get the idea that how are these indexes formed. Even the Scopus database is also having these days the H index as well mentioned along with the authors. So by utilizing these type of matrices, researchers can get insights into the broader academic landscape, identified some influential works or researchers that say this is by virtue of which you can identify your researchers as well in your respective field, that whose papers or whose research articles I'll read first. Some renowned authors in the field must be having top citations in that particular areas as well. So this will help you create some networking, collaborations, strategies to develop or publish your work, and also create some funding opportunities amongst the researchers as well. So, finally, concluding that it provides some quantitative measures, and it will be interpreted along with some qualitative assessments as well. Sometimes the publication counts or the publication metrics do matter at times, and we expect that there is more collaboration, there is more networking, there is more funding opportunities for you as well as a researcher. Uh, obviously it will provide valuable insights that do not although they do not capture the complete picture of your research impact, what product that you are developing, what manufacture sector that you have improved, or something of that sort. It will There will be other factors, as say for example the societal impact or the interdisciplinary collaboration or qualitative evaluation of your research could be uh, is yet to be considered in your bibliometrics profile. So this is one area that can be thought of as an improvement for creating some societal impact of your research. If you're working with an interdisciplinary team, of course, these type of things can be reflected through your bibliometrics profile as well. So maybe someday we are expecting these type of things that will be considered as well. Now, why it is important to know about the bibliometrics profile, or the for an author to know about the bibliometrics part. So there are some areas that we discussing, we will be discussing today in the evening. And of course we talk about providing some quantitative measures. So the impact of research is assessed through the bibliometrics. So how influential it's a citation count. Say for example, uh, every year we have in our institute, from each and every department we have it, say what is the highest citation of a particular research work in a particular year. Say for example, 2 years from the date of uh, say for example this is 2023 running, so 2021, how many citations have been received in your publication. So some sort of counting, some sort of metrics that our institute has framed to felicitate different researchers and encourage also them to bring out quality publications that bring good citation counts as well. So this can be one of the indicators. I'll not say that it's the only indicator that a quality research work is being reflected, but this is one of the indicators by virtue of which you can gauge or measure rather their work, their how they are frequently, how frequently they are cited, and where those things where your article is being cited, that is also equally important. Sometimes if it is included in the Scopus or the Web of Science databases, they are considered to be more valuable or impactful. So basically, assessing the impact of your research, that is more important. And further, bibliometrics will also give you the research productivity, say in terms of some publication counts, or in terms of some H indexes or indexes, by virtue of which a measure of the author's research productivity is being reflected. So these type of metrics do good or do play an important role in for appearing for any job applications, getting some grant proposals, getting some tenure evaluations or something of that sort, and also for the author's track record or for the researcher's track record and output in terms of what he has been publishing over the years, either say last 3 years or last 5 years if you are counting. So what is our research productivity? So basically demonstrating the productivity of your research through some publication metrics in terms of H index, in terms of I10 index as well. Apart from that, identifying the influential researchers and also the potential collaborators. Of course, this bibliometric analysis will help you to identify the important researchers in your field, in your renown. Say, for example, if I name a particular area, I can name five top cited researchers or 10 top cited researchers. Of course, in your own area of research, in your own domain of your research, definitely there will be some renowned researchers or top cited researchers. How do you measure, how why do we are calling it top cited researchers? Because they are providing some metrics, they are providing some publication counts, they are providing or they are maintaining a good or a considerable H index or a considerable I10 index. So publication metrics we go into facts and figures, the quality, rather than going for the qualitative measure, we go in for the quantitative measure. So where we can understand that how influential that particular person is, or how important that person is in terms of research in that particular domain. So citation patterns definitely play a key role in determining that how highly it is being cited, or how significant is the impact of that particular publication. So these type of things are of course important, and this will also help you to choose your potential collaborators. Say for example, uh, I am contacting some person who is having 25,000 citations, right? And I'm moving out with 700 odd citations. So of course, uh, the person who is having 25,000 citation, if I'm contacting him for some networking, some for some collaborative work, definitely he or she must obviously look into my profile as well. So it will help you, your impactful research will help you to get potential collaborators, or develop a good amount of networking in the area of your research. Evaluating potential collaboration opportunities. Obviously, this will help you to open up some opportunities that your publication records, or your research impact, or your H index values, or your publication metrics values will help you to create some good citation profiles and research interest to the others, so that the researchers can also get in touch with you through ResearchGate, through email, or what sort of things with which you can collaborate your, if your work aligns with their own. So of course you can get in touch with them, or they can get in touch with you. So obviously it will also help you to grab the opportunity of different collaborations, different networkings in your domain of research. And of course, some if you are valuing your research, of course, if your research is showing a good impact, or showcasing some good impact, or the importance of your research will also help you to seek some funding agencies or funding opportunities from your employers, or from some government organizations, as well as private organizations as well. So this is a way of uh, see, for example, I have to have a quantitative measure, and bibliometrics is one such parameter by virtue of which we can get the citation count, we can get the publication metrics, we can get the H index, I10 index, and which will help the funders to assess my impact of research. So of course, it's the quantity, not the quality, that we are talking about this case. But at some point of time, you may have inclusion of quality, of societal impact, societal benefit, like those terms which I've just discussed, may sometimes be included in future as well. And how to assess that? Definitely, some authorities are there to look into those quality research work through their publications, through the journals in which they are publishing, or something of that sort. So basically, these are the points which we have already discussed. Assessing the impact of our research, we are to measure the research productivity. We are to identify the influential or the top cited researchers in our field. We have to seek for the potential collaboration opportunities, and how to, depending upon our bibliometrics profile, how we are able to generate some funding for our research work as well. So we talk about some of the bibliometric indicators. Say, for example, the citation count, the number of times your work has been cited by your other researchers. So that indicates the citation count. Say, for example, I have recently reached 700 citations. So that is my citation count, which reflects that how much my work is being cited by other researchers who are working in my research domain. So definitely you develop certain notions. Say if you are contacting for collaboration or networking some researcher who is having only 45 citations, and me having 700 citations. So of course there will be some differentiation or some perception that you develop that I can collaborate with a person who is having greater citation. So citation counts do matter, of course. Measure of both productivity and citation impact will be reflected through the H index I told you earlier as well. With some example, this H index is available, or I10 index is available in your Google Scholar profile. You may look at the Google Scholar profile, and immediately you can take one particular example of a particular researcher. You can type even my name as well to check my H index value and my I10 index values in recent times, last 5 years, and of course right from the beginning of my research area. So journal impact factor, it will give you an assessment that how much is the average number of citations to journals. So of course we sometimes, although this is not always fixed, but sometimes we do take care, we do have a look at the journal impact factor as well to develop some quality research work as well. And at the same time it must fit in with the aim and scope of the journal for a research article to be submitted to a particular journal as well. But still we do take care that some of the top publishing houses like IEEE, Springer, Vele, Taylor Francis, Elsewhere Science, these are the top quality publishing houses in which we can think about. Then there is called something called altmetrics. This measures some social media engagement or some online engagement with your research. Say for example, I have published some work. I'll put it in some LinkedIn profile. I'll add it to my Facebook account, Facebook page, and get the likings, get the comments, based on which there is some metrics measure, which we call as alt metrics. So this is coming up these days, that how much influential is your research in the social media as well. We have several platforms like ResearchGate, Research Square, and several such platforms are available, where you can post your latest research work. You can discuss your research work. I think in Elsewhere and really they are having some research highlights as well, some graphical abstract they are demanding for the publications as well. So this is a good way to interpret your work and to understand your work through some graphical representation. So definitely for a layman to understand your work and immediately get some influence on your research profile or in your research work, definitely this is a good way by virtue of which you can post through social media or through LinkedIn, through Facebook, through Twitter, and all those social media platforms. You can post your research and get yourself noticed as well. And it is not, there is no harm in that. Other Some of the other tools that we talk about, wave of science is also a comprehensive data analysis technique by virtue of which you can assess your citation data and analyze also the citation data as well. So how much is your research work getting noticed in web of science, that is also some form of measure. Sometimes we look it at the individual level, sometimes we look it at the department level, sometimes even we also observe it at the institute level as well. Apart from that, Scopus is also a good database where extensive citation and public information are available. So you can give a Scopus author search and type your name, your surname, and write your institution name, so that you get an assessment as well. Immediate assessment of your H index, immediate assessment of your citations, how many articles are placed uh, uh, in your Scopus database or something of that sort, so you can have a comprehensive idea about Scopus. Google Scholar, we had been time and again been referring. It's a free and accessible resource for tracking your citation, to check your publication counts, to check your publication metrics as well, like H index or I10 index as well. Some research profiles. We talked about ORCID. I think I have given a lecture on ORCID and how to use ORCID, why it's important Everything has been mentioned in that particular lecture. ORCID profile is compulsory these days for some journals. ResearchGate is of course an important platform to showcase your work, to showcase your latest research. Apart from that, sorry, some other platforms like Research Square and all those platforms are already available. Uh, that can also be dictating our research. Uh, okay. Yes. Thank you. Uh, so once again, when we talk about our research profile, our ORCID profile, we talk about a research gate. All these things go in co-connection. Say, for example, if we have our publication being in a peer-reviewed journal or in a peer-reviewed conference, we can immediately get the access through the Google Scholar once it is published through ResearchGate, ORCIDs. Everything will take place automatically. Just you need to synchronize the contents. Now, how to increase your bibliometric impact? So, how to do that? Preferably, you can go for publishing in some high impact journals in your referee domain, in your domain of work. You can collaborate with the top cited researchers to get more promotions, to get your work being noticed, and promoting your work through your social media and other professional networks like ResearchGate, ORCID IDs, these sort of things. And of course, engage with the scholarly community. That's what we are doing these days through conferences, through workshops, through different webinars. You can share your research through different webinars, through different social media platforms, through YouTube. Everything you can do it. And of course, your research is discoverable through appropriate keywords and metadata. This is also equally important. The choice of keyword will help to increase your citation of work clearly. So, more specific keywords are required, or more specific appropriate keywords are required, or metadata is required for you to influence other researchers to get your work noticed, to increase your publication count, to increase your publication metrics in terms of citation, in terms of H index, in terms of I index as well. Some of the challenges and limitations of bibliometrics: of course, it focuses on the quantitative measures rather than qualitative assessment. This we already talked about. uh, I think disciplinary differences may be there in terms of citation practices, because some areas, say for example, the area of energy, the area of internet of things, multidisciplinary research areas. So of course the discipline also do matter. Say for example, if you are a guy from computer science background, of course there will be more citations of your work, more publication metrics that will be reflected, because more and more people are of course reading those articles, or more and more people are getting your work noticed in different areas of computer science as well. So the domain of research is also equally important for influencing your citation practices. Self citations, usually we avoid self citations, but some people or somewhere it is also not. Say for example, you are developing your work, or from your domain you are doing a work, and of course other researchers have not much worked on it. So of course your work has to be self cited. So in that case, that may sometimes skew the results. That can also, say for example, sometimes we have to report our work excluding our self citations as well. So some publication metrics are also available, where they may include exclude your self citations as well. They can find it out from the relevant databases as well. And of course, if you're working in emerging fields, say for example, I'll give you a very small example. We had been working on some research articles related to Internet of Things. So what happened after we used appropriate keywords and appropriate metadata for the publication? It was published, and we are expecting around 200 to 250 citations only from those areas of research. Say, for example, working in the area of Internet of Things. So of course, you have to if you want to increase your citation count, your H index values or ITN index values, you have to take up some emerging ways of research, some interdisciplinary ways by virtue of which you can increase your citation counts as well. So this is somewhere quantitative measures do matter. You have to choose a particular, say for example, if you are working in the area of mechatronics or robotics related issues, if you are working in the area of energy, where mostly people from diversified background are working, so obviously this will increase your citation count. This will increase or improve your scholarly profiles as well. Now we will talk about some of the challenges in details, and there may be some quantitative bias in your measures for bibliometrics, and these qualitative aspects are being overlooked as well. So factors such as your originality of your research, novelty of your research, or societal impact of your work is not captured in your citation based metrics alone. So this is somewhere bias, I should say, on the looking at the quantitative data. So of course, these cannot be taken as a measure at this point of time. It is not thought of as yet that how to measure the quality of your work, how to measure the novelty of your work, how to measure the originality of your work, or at least what is the societal impact of your research. Say for example, I'm working in the area of control, and what kind of societal impact I have developing some new control mechanisms as well. So discipline specific differences, of course, there are certain disciplines which do not have too much of publication counts or publication patterns. So individual disciplines, say for example, sciences have more publication areas or more publication counts or more public citation metrics as compared to the engineering field. So these differences are of course there depending upon the discipline that in which or the domain you are working at. If it's an emerging field, of course you can think about higher citation, and you can also think about journals where some high impact factor journals are available for developing your quality of research. Social sciences in that case are slightly behind in terms of the citation metrics or in terms of the general journal impact factor, but sciences do have a good. Although mathematics, I think I have published one research article in a journal of mathematics. So mathematics also do suffer from this publication metrics or publication indexes. They have usually a low impact factor journals as well. So these type of things they do happen. Normally physics and chemistry people they get benefited out of uh, uh, the publication metrics. Engineering, it's very difficult to publish sometimes. In mechanical engineering, amongst the engineering branches, we find that publication counts are more, publication matrices are more. So obviously that particular domain, if you are working in the area of computer science these days, the number of researchers are of course more. So of course you get your visibility of research. If you put some quality of research work, you can get some good amount of citations as well. Self citations, of course, citation manipulation, these type of malpractices are already there when we have a quantitative measure, and when we somehow want to increase our publication or increase our research impact by hook and crook. Of course, there are some things that will inflate our citation counts or manipulate our bibliometric indicators as well. So how do that? Sometimes self citations are although legitimate and of course necessary at certain cases, just as I told you, but still excessive self citation can somehow misinterpret or misrepresent the true impact of our research as well. So citation manipulation. How can we manipulate citations? Because say for example, my five of my friends or 10 of my friends are working in the same domain almost. So I say that you quote my paper somewhere where it is relevant, where it is suitable. So this type of things can happen. So this can be manipulated as well sometimes. These type of things should be avoided. As a researcher, as an honest researcher, these type of things should be avoided because it will not give you the true impact of your research as well. Availability and coverage of data. Sometimes the bibliometric data sources have limitations in terms of coverage or in terms of accessibility. Some sort of databases may not include all publications or all citations as well. Some incompleteness or some biased results may be there. Some emerging fields or non-traditional research outputs are there. Say for example, this also happens in case we are going for a patent publication as well. The field of engineering or the field of invention is specifically related to the conventional engineering branches. We are yet to make certain changes in the emerging areas of research or non-traditional research outputs. So these type of things must change, and of course, due to which you may not be able to access some of the databases, or you may not be able to access all my research articles from a particular database of Web of Science or Scopus or something of that sort. Lag time and citation dynamics. So of course there is a lag time for a work to be published. You have some sufficient time, you gather certain sufficient time. Say for example, I was quoting one example where 2 years we do keep at our institute to measure the citation count of a particular publication, and the number of citations may be excluded of the self citation. So sometimes it is difficult to trace out the self citations that has taken place. And of course there may be some manipulations if you set up a certain target that this amount of citations I need to have per year or something of that sort. So obviously there will be some citation pattern or manipulation of the citation pattern. Of course the dynamics may vary from different research domains, impacting uh, the interpretation of the bibliometric indicators as well. So citation dynamics is another important point that needs to a citation pattern or citation dynamics that needs to focus on different research fields. There are different domains of research which have more citations, sometimes having some research areas having very less citations, or journals are lesser in number in the area you are working. So these type of things do happen. Ethical considerations. So of course, please do not manipulate your citation metrics, and do not engage yourself in some excessive self citations or misrepresenting the research impact. This is absolutely harming, or that is not a good sign to maintain the integrity of the evaluation process as well. And sometimes it is, of course, we understand too that it is sometimes important to promote and responsible and ethical use of bibliometrics, and consider them as one of the several factors while evaluating your research impact. But still, some ethical considerations must be there. Manipulating citation metrics, engaging in some self citations, or misrepresenting some research impact or something of that sort, that is harmful for maintaining the integrity of our research impact as well. So, what are the ethical considerations? Of course, we must not manipulate our citation metrics by putting some excessive self citations, but that does not also mean that you should also manipulate your citations by talking to your friend or something of that sort to increase your citation unethically. So, cite your previous work appropriately. This is also equally important. You have to acknowledge your the original work that is there, right? So you should not avoid excessive self citations, of course. And of course develop a culture in your department, in your institute, to maintain a responsible bibliometric use in academia. So of course correct use of citations is equally important. Quoting a research article correctly is equally important. And of course try to avoid manipulating the citation metrics, try to avoid excessive self citations as well. and try to acknowledge and cite those appropriate works that are definitely there. And of course, as an individual, as a human being, we must also understand or develop a culture of responsible bibliometric use in our academia. So some points to be elaborated over here regarding the ethical considerations, because time and again we have to declare the ethical statement. You have to give the conflict of interest statement on all those things. So this you must also follow ethically as well. It's not just that you are writing that it is ethically correct. We have taken into account the ethical considerations, and we do not have any conflict of interest or something of that sort, because this will also truly impact on the quality of your research, the impact of your research, and the productivity of your research as well, and of course, the individual performance as well. So, bibliometrics should be used responsibly, and it is a sole purpose or the primary basis of evaluating your quality of research, your impact of research, or your individual performance as well. So, better to consider the qualitative assessments, peer reviewers, and other indicators alongside your bibliometric data to obtain a more comprehensive understanding of your research as well. So, it is better that the promotion norms or something of that sort, which any institute or any research labs are following, they also take these things into account, talking about the qualitative assessments, the peer reviews that can take place, and also avoid certain manipulations in your citations, artificially inflating the citation counts, use of excessive use of self citations, which I had been talking. This will undermine definitely the integrity of the process as well. Proper acknowledgement and citation. In our previous lecture, we talked about how to cite your research work appropriately, and there we have obviously we mentioned that reporting appropriate and accurate citation work is equally important, because whoever is reading your research article, they may be referring one or two articles or maybe five articles from your research, and if they are not able to find that research work appropriately in our databases. In our research databases or in the Web of Science or in the Scopus databases, it's really misleading. Also, you are misleading your fellow researchers or your followers as well. So definitely, researchers, as a researcher, you will wholeheartedly acknowledge and cite all the previously influenced works that has been used in your research article or in your manuscript as well. And failure to do that will always violate the ethical norms and distort the interpretation of your research impact and the intellectual contributions as well. Of course, avoiding the misuse of your indicators. So of course, if you are uh, using some bibliometric indicators, it should be used in a responsible manner and should not be the sole determinant for research quality, funding decisions, of course, and career advancement, and of course your research allocation as well. So, evaluators and decision makers should also take into account a range of indicators and also put some points on the quality assessments to make well informed decisions about your research work. Understanding the limitations and biases. Of course, we talked about quantitative bias, because when it's quantitative, once it's reflecting through some numbers or facts and figures, definitely there can be some sort of manipulation, some sort of nuisance that can be created. So these type of research disciplines, of course, publication patterns do matter also, citation practices do matter also, journal impact, just as I told you, this also impact or have impact depending upon the research domain that in which you are working. And of course, you must promote transparency and reproducibility of your work as well. So you must promote transparency of your research work, your reproducibility in the bibliometric databases. Those who are using or working on the area of bibliometrics, they must take into account these things, providing a clear and detailed methodology using some standard data sources, Web of Science, Scopus, likewise, and making the data and the code openly available. There are several bibliometric softwares which currently I don't use, but there are There are several software, several parameters to measure the bibliometric analysis. Just as I told you, altmetrics is one of them to measure the social media platforms as well. And of course, promoting a culture of responsible education, or education is as education is as a researcher, as institution, as funders, as evaluators. We should always promote a culture of responsible evaluation and recognize the limitations of bibliometrics and values diverse forms of research output and research impact as well. This includes some encouraging or a broader range of research outputs, such as open science practices, open source, open citations, or open access researches. Interdisciplinary collaborations can also take place. Societal impact definitely, which may not be fully captured by the bibliometric indicators. So, at certain point of time, interdisciplinary, in order to promote interdisciplinary collaboration, in order to improve upon societal impact, there may be some focus points from the bibliometric indicators as well. So, what are the limitations? Quantitative measures are there, but qualitative assessments is not taking place regarding the originality of the work, regarding the quality of the publication. Only some quantitative reflections are being made. So, of course, this has some different impact. Discipline specific differences are there. Of course, as I told you, that sciences have more citation metrics than as compared to the engineering field. Social sciences have even more less. Impact factor of the mathematics journals are even less as compared to any other science journals. So these type of differences are also there. So you have to track the forms, or the uh, I should say the emerging field. You have to catch on the emerging field in order to get safe in terms of publication metrics or publication counts, or in terms of the different bibliometric parameters as well. Coverage and data quality. And of course, when we are using some softwares to measure some publication counts or citations, we must make use of some databases which are standard databases. We must focus on specific disciplines, geographical regions, potentially excluding the relevant publications as well. In any inaccuracies or inconsistencies in your data can impact on the validity of your bibliometric analysis. There are some researchers who work on the bibliometric area. They continuously focus on these type of aspects, like a geographical region or some relevant publications or specific discipline. Say, for example, as I told you, Internet of Things is not a discipline mentioned so far in our Indian IPR. So, of course, when you are doing any work on Internet of Things, and of course, these type of databases or field of invention is not available. So we have to improve upon, or we have to include these type of databases apart from conventional engineering and conventional science branches as well, or social science branches as well. Lag time and citation dynamics. This have already been told that amount of time that citations take or citations pick up. Say, for example, some review papers are very quickly cited. Some review papers take a lot time to get itself cited. So it all depends upon the way the researchers have been looking into, or the or the emerging field that you are working upon or not. Of course, newer publications may not have had sufficient time to gather citation, and of course, there should be some benchmarks. 2 to 3 years, I'll check the citations onwards, and you may overestimate or underestimate the impact of their work as well. So some citation patterns, some dynamics can vary depending upon research field, depending upon research domain, making it challenging for to compare impact among several disciplines as well. So we cannot compare science with engineering, we cannot compare social science and mathematics with engineering branches as well. Self citations and gaming the system. So of course, we talked about manipulating the citations, including some more of your self citations, or manipulating the results through some distorting the results, or presenting the true impact of your research. That should be avoided. And of course, there should be some responsibility and the ethical use of bibliometrics in order to do that. And of course, if you can exclude out the self citations, even if you are making it, if you can reflect honestly to the different uh, data seekers. Of course, this will give you a good way of uh, good approach, at least from your own sake. Uh, I think bibliometric indicators, they do not provide any contextual information about the research question or the research problem that has been addressed, the research methodology or the audience reach. So of course, these sort of things are not equal. They are not yet to be incorporated in bibliometric study as well. So understanding the broader concept of a particular publication is equally important. Say, for example, what say we belong from electrical engineering side. So electrical and electronics is a mentioned branch. Sometimes electrical and computer is a mentioned branch, or sometimes electronics and computer is a mentioned branch. So different overlaps are there depending upon your field of research. And of course, sometimes the true reflection of your research or the true impact of your research or the relevance of your work may not be judged through the bibliometric analysis as well. And of course, non-traditional outputs, this we had been mentioning, emerging fields like internet of things and all those aspects related to interdisciplinary research related to computer science. All those aspects must be included in the databases nowadays, in a bibliometric analysis or bibliometric profiles for researchers working in these areas. So definitely those databases have limited coverage of emerging research fields or non-traditional research. Say, for example, uh, if somebody is studying in or working in the area of electrical and computer, somebody is working in the area of electronics and computer, somebody working in the area of collaborating chemical engineering with computer science or something of that sort. So those databases must be created in order to improve upon the research impact of or the true research impact of a researcher. So my conclusions, obviously it has valuable impacts on your research work, on your research productivity, but at the same time we must also include the quality of research and how what is the societal impact of your research as well. And of course, authors can leverage bibliometrics to enhance their visibility, their reputation, and but they must also use it responsibly, they must use it ethically, which is equally important or equally crucial for you to work on the bibliometrics. So that's all from my side. I hope that all the participants must have enjoyed my short discussion on an author's guide to bibliometric analysis and how to work upon. And I'd expect I'll be happy to answer some questions also. Over to IGP for your final conclusions as well.
Thank you so much, sir, for your rich content presentation, which can impact our knowledge seekers surely. After your presentation, I hope your knowledge seekers can learn something new, which was our only intention. Learn and grow together, IGP knowledge seekers. Once again, thank you so much, dear sir, for your presentation. Now, sir, it's time for our question and answer session, which is the one more valuable part of our regular webinar. Honorable sir, please stay with us. After a short video, we'll be back in our session part 2, which is the question and answer part. Dear IGP knowledge seekers, please ask your questions in the comment box as much as you want to know from our speaker. After question and answer, we have webinar certification and online quiz competition. Dear IGP knowledge seekers, please ask your questions in the comment box as much as you want to know from our speaker. Thank you. After question and answer, we have webinar certification and online quiz competition. IGP knowledge seekers, please ask your questions in the comment box as much as you want to know from our speaker. Dear IGP knowledge seekers, please ask your questions in the comment box as much as you want to know from our speaker. Dear IGP knowledge seekers, please ask your questions in the comment box as much as you want to know from our speaker. Um, thank you, sir. I think we are covered all of our questions and topics.
Okay.
Thank you. Once again, thank you so much, Honorable Sir, for your time in IGP. We have learned a lot from you with new topics. It will add some value to our day-to-day activity along with our academic and professional growth. Honorable Sir, hope to see you again with a new topic and with a new date. Thank you, sir. Take care.
Okay. Fine. Bye bye.
IGP knowledge seekers, it's time for the webinar certification process, the most attractive and powerful part of our regular webinar. After a short video, we'll start our webinar certification. After webinar certification, we have an online quiz competition and quiz certification. IGP knowledge seekers, it's time for the webinar certification process, the most attractive and powerful part of our regular webinar. After a short video, we'll start our webinar certification. After webinar certification, and we have an online quiz competition and quiz certification. Certification process. Certificate instruction. Visit www.eduigp.com. Please make sure your presence on our website. Find a running session and get enrolled. After watching or completing part 1 video session, click mark as complete. Moving to the next, which is the learning test. Passing mark 80% if passed. Back to the course again to download your certificate. If failed, to retake the course. Download your certificate in PDF or JPG. For your attention, I am going to share the procedure again. Certificate instructions. Visit www.eduigp.com. Please make sure your presence on our website. Sign up or sign in. Find a running session and get enrolled. After watching or completing part, click mark as complete. Move to the next, which is the learning test quiz. Passing mark 80%. If pass, back to the course again to download your certificate. If fail, to retake the course. Download your certificate in PDF or JPG. Dear IGP knowledge seekers, it's time for the most engaging part of this webinar, which is an online quiz competition, which is our regular webinar activity, which includes review process for online live quiz competition. Note that after live, no one can participate. Participation process. Now it's time for the online quiz competition. To join online quiz competition properly, please follow my instruction carefully. Now time for the online quiz competition. To join online quiz competition properly, please follow my instructions carefully. Visit www.eduigp.com. Sign up or sign in. Without this, you can't join live quiz competitions anymore. Browse the live quizzes button or the given link. Find the session name and join with your log website or user account. Please join and wait for a few minutes for others to join. Enjoy an online live quiz competition. After the quiz, we will issue certificates for the top 10 CBS which you can find on our website and official Facebook page. After a short video, we will start our quiz session. Okay, we are now start our quiz session. Our first question is, which of these qualities is essential to an author's creativity? A. Popularity. B. Trust or thinness. Correct answer is B. Trustworthiness. On the leaderboard, first person name is Alex Javier Alviraj. Next question is, an essential message the author is trying to get across. A theme. B. Denouement. Correct answer is theme. On the leaderboard, first person name is Jamalin V. Rivera. Next question is water an essential element to the Australian Guide to Healthy Eating? Yes or no? Correct answer is no. On the leaderboard, first person name is Jimalin V. Rivera. Next question is the author's purpose for writing an article about service dogs and guide dogs is to A. Persuade you to get a service dog, B. Inform you about the different job dogs can have. Correct answer is B. Inform you about the different jobs dogs can have. On the leaderboard, first person name is Inilita Q. Villanueva. Next question is tasting is also an essential operation to guide the production of the wine. A true be false. Correct answer is true. On the leaderboard, first person name is Anilita Q. Villanueva. Next question is the care plan is an essential guide to what care is needed and how to provide care to a resident. A true be false. Correct answer is true. On the leaderboard, first person name is Anilita Q. Villanueva. Next question is who is the author of an astronaut guide to life on Earth? A Cherish Hadfield B. Neil Armstrong. Correct answer is A. Cherish Hadfield. On the leaderboard, first person name is Anilita Q. Villanueva. Next question is which of the following did Bowen believe was an essential guide to family therapy? A reflective practice with theory. Correct answer is theory. On the leaderboard, first person name is Anilita Q. Villanova. Next question is if you want to be a tour guide and dash and friendly manner is essential. A sociable be outgoing. Correct answer is outgoing. On the leaderboard, first person name is and Jumalin V. Rivera. Next question is proof that's essential to an author creating a strong argument or claim. Evidence with paraphrase. Correct answer is evidence. On the leaderboard, first person name is Jimalin V. Rivera. Congratulations to our webinar online quiz competition. We are top 10. Congratulations again. We will take a few minutes to finalize the result, and after that, we will issue our online quiz competition certificates on our website and official Facebook page. Congratulations to our webinar online quiz certificate competition. We are top 10. Congratulations again. We will take a few minutes to finalize the result, and after that, we will issue our online quiz competition certificates on our website and official Facebook page. Congratulations to our webinar online quiz competition. You top 10. Congratulations again. We will take a few minutes to finalize the result, and after that, we will issue our online quiz competition certificates on our website and official Facebook page. And the end of our session, we can say probably future skill never stop learning because life never stop teaching us. Be happy and stay safe. See you again and again. We want you participate in every program. If you want to live a happy life, type a goal, not to people or things. Albert Einstein. Before I say or hit and the like button, again wants to thank all IGP knowledge seekers for your active participation as always. See you in the next session. Thank you.